Hello and welcome back to Heiner Builds Your Ride. Late in the afternoon today, and we have got the perfect tow vehicle. This is set up to be completely power independent, and this is also set up for towing at the same time. But before I get into too much detail, let's roll the intro. Let's have a look under the bonnet and what we've done in the front of the vehicle. This is one of those no expensive spares. As you can see, there's a different air filter box, extra fans on the intercooler. Then we've got our Lazerlamps Sentinel 9-inch Elite driving lights in here. GME XRS 370 two-way system with the 2.1 dB gain aerial, and then also our Celfi-GO repeater system with the 6 to 8 dB gain aerial. Both mounted on the bull bar, which is brilliant because the bull bar itself acts like a massive ground plane, and it's almost like you add another amplifier to the aerials. Then under the bonnet we have got our upgraded alternator. So this unit has further down there a 250 amp alternator, brushless, so it's a lot less prone to failure when you actually go through mud and dirt and dust, because the brushes, the contacts that are sitting on the rotor, they cannot get stuck anymore because there aren't any, which takes away 95% of the failures that you get with alternators. And then we've got the Unilac 2-up battery clamp system. So we take all the factory cables to one side and we add all our extra stuff to the other side. As you can see, we used our MIDI fuse holder brackets to put our MIDI fuse holders on here for 2 DC-DC chargers, a rear Anderson, and for an emergency brake system for the caravan. We've got driving light and Lightbar harness here. We are using now our self-fabricated Klarmann Lightbar and driving light harnesses. We will actually have a few videos for those coming out, because we found that we can't buy light harnesses that are really good quality. So we used to take harnesses, chop them up, re-sleeve them. It took a long time, and now we said, like, you know what, let's build our own harnesses and have some really, really good Lightbar and driving light harnesses. We made a whole kit out of it. But we'll have extra videos for that. In here, we've also got a winch isolator. That is a 300 amp constant load alternator the same style that you find for trucks. This is really heavy duty, so you can winch all day through that and you will not have a problem. You've probably seen quite often the winches come with these plastic isolator switches. If you got one of them, the best thing you can do with it is throw it in the bin, because after you've winched for a longer period of time, they get so hot that the plastic starts to get soft and the spring-loaded contacts push the plastic apart and they stop to work. We've exchanged plenty of those ones in our time here. Let's have a look to the part where it's really interesting. So in here we have got the remote control for the 2 kVA Redarc inverter. Then we've got the BMW 712 battery monitor, accessory socket, USB sockets. We've done some fabrication in here ourselves, as we do sometimes. Now then we've got the 30-liter Bushman upright, 85-liter Bushman upright fridge. We've got a travel buddy right here. And this is quite a nice canopy as well, where you've got a table and some drawers to pull out. This customer also bought the mobile sea flow pump kit, so he can pump water from any source. Also on the side here, some extra storage space, and we've got the 300-watt KT solar blanket right in here as well. And then we've got our National Lunar light, which can change color to orange, as you can see, and you can change it back to white just by holding it. And this canopy came with some other lights as well, so you got also red light here and white light, and of course central locking in the canopy that is hooked up to the vehicle. Also on the outside of the canopy, on both sides and on the back, we've got our Lazerlamps Utility 25 work lights. Those are brilliant lights, especially with the amber cover. What's really cool with those ones is when you're camped up somewhere, and let's say you're on that side of the car, you've got a tree line on this side, you can turn the light on, just shine light onto the tree line, which gives really nice indirect light for the whole campsite. Changes camping a lot when you've got that. I'll show you the business side on the other side. That's where all the electrics went. Here we have got another fridge, which is actually a 40-liter National Lunar that can be used as a freezer. So for these longer trips, this is the perfect size for a freezer. Cool thing about this is the National Lunar fridges, they have got really thick sidewalls. As you can see, that is the insulation of the fridge. So they work very efficiently as a freezer, and they got the perfect size for it as well. And with these little boxes in them, it is quite easy to freeze things in this little freezer. Quite a good addition if you got an upright fridge, but you want a freezer, the 40-liter National Lunar is perfect for it. And then of course we've got all the electrics. So what we've got in here is, it's a bit hard to see in the very far corner there, we've got 2 Redarc BCDC core DC-DC chargers, a 40 amp and a 25 amp unit. We are running them through the MIDI fuses right next to it, and they are both charging into the 400 amp hour lithium battery that you can see right there. And then of course we've got our primary power distribution right here, our twin A&L fuse holder for the DC hub and the inverter, the shunt for the Victron battery monitor, and we've got a 30 amp shore power charger which can be plugged into an extension cord, and it will work through the Egon DC hub to charge the battery back up. All the other equipment in this vehicle is also connected through our Egon DC hub. And then you see under the roof here, we've got the 2000 watt Redarc inverter, which has got its power points right here and can be switched on from the other side. And here there are more charge outputs and a little charging station. and you can put all your head torches, phone, whatever else you might have, you can just store that right there. These batteries are quite cool too. They have been around for a while, but they haven't been used that often yet. This is a 400 amp hour Amptron lithium battery, 200 amp maximum discharge, and if you look at the size, really good to integrate and really good value for money, those units as well. I've got the same one in my camper trailer and it works an absolute treat. These fridge slides are quite cool. They are the MSA drop slides and they are locked here, but if you want to make sure they really stay in place, you've got an extra lock here again, which is really good for rugged off-road conditions. And then we've got another National Lunar light on this side. Same thing, can switch in between orange and white. And another light here, exactly the same on the other side. Central locking as well. And you know, I said this thing is set up for towing. So back here, there's a setup for a camera in the caravan. Then we've got the 7-pin trailer plug, which is there from factory. And here we have got an Anderson plug for the DC-DC chargers in the caravan. That is a dedicated charge circuit. And in here, this is an extra Anderson plug. See how they are color coded. One is gray and one is red, so you can't confuse them. The plugs will only fit red to red and gray to gray as well. This is for the emergency brake system or the anti-sway brake system in the caravan. You could even plug the caravan into the 2000 watt inverter, and you can use that with a normal extension cord, so you can transfer charge from the vehicle to the caravan. All you need is a 240 to 12 volt charger in the caravan, and then you can plug it in, you turn the inverter on in the car, and you transfer charge from the vehicle into the caravan. This canopy here is made here in Perth by a company called TL Engineering, and this is their special TLX 4x4 range. So they make these canopies, and they've got the same style as the Norwell canopies, but are made right here in Perth. Quite a nice finish on everything. You get a big drawer in the back here as well. You get a ladder so you can access the roof rack. You get boxes in here, and we like to use these boxes to integrate the ARB twin piston compressor. As you can see, everything's integrated here. Switches in here as well. You've got the air tank, and you can plug in your hose right here. Really good to inflate tires, but also great to just blow out everything and clean your canopy after it's been dusty for quite some time, because that dust, it gets in anywhere. And you can also use that to just open up all the doors in the cab and you just blow all the dust out. It's actually quicker than vacuuming your car. I use mine in the car for exactly that all the time. I don't vacuum my car anymore, I just use the compressor to blow it out. This is also equipped with the Torqued stainless steel exhaust system. These are quite good. Same thing, I'm using them on my Hilux as well. They're great. But let's have a look inside the cab, because there's a fair bit going on in here as well. Of course, there's more in here. So first thing that you notice is a center console fridge. These are getting more and more popular. Cold drinks while you're driving, I mean, who wouldn't like that? So this is a Bushman fridge. They call it their Bushman Roadie fridge. And then we've got a Department of the Interior center console here. And we've also got a T-shaped Department of the Interior roof console with this light here. Works with door contacts or manual. And then you've got little reading lights in here as well. They can be quite handy. And it's the last thing that we need to install. It's not there yet, but we will also have the GME XRS 370 handpiece to plug in here. The part hasn't come in on time, unfortunately. And then you can have your two-way hanging right here up top. We've also got charge ports there and there. We've got charge ports up the top here on either side as well. And we've got our rear view mirror camera system. So if you turn accessories on the vehicle, what will happen is the screen turns on and you can see out the back of the vehicle. So you can line up quite easily for attaching your caravan. But because you got a canopy, you can't see anything on the back of the car. So you can still use this as a normal mirror. And really great thing is you can also insert a SD card. It's got a front camera as well. And you can use it as your normal dash cam. It will just loop record onto the SD card. If you ever have to access any of the data, you can just take the SD card out, copy it to your computer. On top of that, we've got the screen here. This is the camera for the caravan. This is obviously not hooked up at the moment because the caravan isn't here. And then we've got the comp switch. So this turns on the Celfi-GO system, all connected directly to the lithium battery. So if you're driving and if you're stationary, you can leave that on to amplify and boost your cell phone signal. Down here we've got the switches for the work lights that I showed you guys before for the Lazerlamps Utility 25, left hand side, right hand side, and in the rear switched separately. So you can decide which side of the car you actually want to light up and you don't have to do all the lights at the same time. We've also got on this side here, we've got a driving light and a light bar switch. The light bar switch is for the Lazerlamps Linear 36 light bar that is on the roof rack. And then we've got the Redarc TowPro Elite brake controller integrated into the dash here as well. And of course, we've got USB charge ports on the side of the dash, on either side of the dash. These work really well when you've got a phone holder with a suction cap on your windscreen and you just get one of those 30 centimeter long cables. You plug that in here, you plug that in here, and these have got USB-C as well, up to 45 watt charging, which super fast charges your phone. You can plug it in. And even newer phones that are quite power hungry, when you use them for off-road GPS or something like that, these USB ports have got enough power to actually have the phone on, have it working, and still charge up the battery at the same time. Let me show you the light bar here as well. See, we've got the Lazerlamps Linear 36 up the top here. And then at the very top here, we've got the 200 watt Redarc square solar panel. These are great for roof racks because you can fill up the space of the roof rack quite well. And then on top, we've still got space for the Max Tracks, which works an absolute treat and fills out the roof exactly the way you want it to. Easy access to the panels, and always 200 watt of solar charging will easily supplement the upright fridge and the freezer at the same time. Now only leaves one thing to do for this one here. Give it our patch of approval, because this one is now officially ready to drive anywhere. Thank you and see you for the next one.